My name is Michael McCarthy, and I joined the Somerville Producers Group in the summer of 2012. What brought me here is I was doing a food demo for my food company at Cambridge Naturals in Porter Square, and I was asked to be a guest on the show here. And I came a few weeks early before my show was going to air so that I could become familiar with the studio. And when I arrived, someone asked me to go up on a ladder and start moving the lights around. They thought I was already part of the group, and I thought it was funny. So I started changing the lights and just doing what I was asked to do. And then someone came up and said, "What's your name?" I said, "I'm Michael McCarthy." And when the show aired live, at the end of the show at 9 o'clock, when it went off the air, it said, "Lighting, Michael McCarthy." And I thought, that happened. And I kept coming back, and finally someone said, "Would you like to join?" And I said, "You know, I'm having a lot of fun." So that's how I joined. I kind of fell into it. I enjoy being a part of Somerville Producers Group because I have a very busy day, and on Tuesday nights every other week I can come here, and it's being in a completely different world. It's a live show, so we start about 2.5 hours before we go live on the air, and we start with an empty set, and you don't know who's going to come on the team for that time, and everyone just comes together in 2.5 hours, and you create a television show out of nothing. And it's wild that you can create something literally out of thin air to see it come together in 2.5 hours. And I really like being a part of that. And everyone binds together as a team because we all realize at 8 o'clock we're going on the air whether we're ready or not. And all of a sudden everyone starts cooperating and getting together and saying, "What do you need? What are we all going to do? How do we get it together?" And it's really interesting seeing strangers and people that I am familiar with come together and just have a collective goal of get it on the air and make it as good as we can, and that's fun. What I've been able to apply outside is I did study photography briefly, still photography, and when I was thrown into the job of cameraman because there wasn't a third cameraman one show, I realized that this is a still camera that just takes multiple pictures. So when I wanted to go outside the studio and have what's called a roll-in, a piece of film that you shoot outside the studio and then it plays inside of the live show, I took what I had learned in photography on how to do a shot, and then also knowing what I had learned in the studio on how to use a video camera with the lighting and where you want to position people and how is it going to look on TV. I could shoot on location with the same eye of how is this going to look on TV. And that was very interesting, and I started to learn, don't film outside because you can't control the wind. Don't film indoors during the daytime because the sun changes. You're better off at night doing it with the lights on, and now you have a controlled environment. Because as you keep doing takes, this I learned when I did a cooking show. We did a day show, it was indoors during the daytime, and we kept changing it and taking takes and retaking, and as we did the retakes, the sun was going down. So when we saw the finished product, the room suddenly kept getting darker and darker and darker. And so now I realize this is why people film at night with indoor lighting, because you can control the environment. So it's those little things. By doing it, by having the experience of actually trying and doing this, you learn these little things that you can't read in a book. You have to do it yourself, and you don't forget them because when you do some bad film, you won't repeat it. So it's very fast on the front line learning, and I like that. Well, I basically make food bars for a living that deal with people that have allergies, as well as using the concept of food as medicine. So I make food bars that help people with focus and concentration. I make bars for people that have gluten intolerances. I also make food bars for people that are vegan, bars for people that are going through chemotherapy, bars that are for people that have diabetes issues. And basically it's functional food products that taste like gourmet food. And I am trying to get people to understand that food is medicine. My goal is to have people start to look at the grocery store as the pharmacy. That when you have high blood pressure, go have a bunch of cilantro because it's a diuretic. If you have achy joints because of arthritis, eat as many hot peppers as you can because the capsaicin, the spicy part, reduces inflammation. And people don't realize that there is a direct medicinal benefit by using food, and by having the Wisdom to Wellness show, it allows me to have a format where I'm not selling my business at all. I don't even mention it actually. But what I am doing is trying to create an awareness that food is much more important than filling your belly. It actually has a role. And there are people that don't respond well to pharmaceutical drugs, whether it be they don't like to take them, or they can't swallow pills, or they have side effects. I want to show people that there's an alternative. There's something else you can do, and it's at your grocery store. It's something that simple. The beauty of being able to produce your own show is that you own the rights to the show, and I've been able to rebroadcast it on YouTube and Facebook, and now I have an even larger reach for people who aren't able to see the live show if they're not residents of Somerville. And it's allowed me to reach a lot more people when I can't afford $25,000 to do a 1-hour television show, and you can do it for free here. It's an amazing access to a production company. It's huge. If you really want to have some form of video format reach publicly, you get an incredible amount of value, as well as being able to learn and control it at the same time. And then from that material, you can splice it up and send it anywhere you like. Last Christmas, so this is December of 2012, I got a call from the second largest gluten-free bakery in the world in Finland, and they said, "We saw your television show." And I was shocked that I said I didn't know anyone was watching it in Finland. But what happened was I shot the film here, Somerville Producers Group aired it, and then since I had the rights to the film, I put it on Facebook, and then from Facebook it just flew, and it literally flew around the world, and someone saw it and liked what they saw, and they called. And actually the owners of the bakery from Finland flew to Boston, and 5 of them visited me, and we might be doing some business in Europe. So it was, yeah, I couldn't have done that without this. Somerville's Producers Group has met my expectations. It's actually exceeded them, because you really can't go anywhere else that I know of and walk into a television studio and say, I want to be the cameraman today. I want to be the lighting director. I want to be the director. I want to be the producer. And there's really expensive high-tech equipment in this place. And the fact that they just let you walk in and touch the buttons, and there's someone there who will hold your hand and show you from the beginning, this is the on switch, and this is what this button does, and we're going on the air in 30 minutes. Give it a shot, good luck. And there are people there to help you, but it's like learning how to fly a plane, and you get to fly on your first lesson. So the access and the ability to have experiential education, and also being in an environment where people support you and say, it's okay, you make mistakes. It's a live show. Mistakes happen. It's part of it. That's the fastest way to learn is to do it. And we're all going to be messy, and you get really good really fast because you're with a team, and we all individually want to make a good contribution. So everyone rises to the occasion and gets much better, much faster than I think any other kind of learning environment. If someone wants to join Somerville Producers Group, I think they should try it a few times and see if they like the people, they like what's happening, if they feel comfortable. And if you decide to be a part, then it's really important that you show up on time, you do what's asked of you, and if that means that you're sweeping the floor or vacuuming the rug or you're going to be the director, we all do everything. And there is no hierarchy. There is not one person who's above another. No one's commanding someone else. If I'm the director of the show, I'm gonna do whatever needs to happen. And if that means pushing a broom, which usually it does, because I'm one of the first ones to come, so be it. I want the floor to look nice. It's my show, my name's on it. And I'm part of the credit roll. If I'm the cameraman, I want to make sure someone's lighting is right, because that's going to reflect on my ability of, well, gee, that wasn't a very good shot. Who's the cameraman? Oh, well, that was the lighting guy. You don't do that. It's like, okay, they need to look really good. So what do we need to get there? And we just simply do that. And with everyone collectively having the goal of make it good and make it really nice together, and no one sitting there taking credit one way or the other, it's nice to band together. And then right away you see the end product. When I was asked to be a guest on a show, and then I kept coming and wanted to be a part of the group, I didn't think I was going to be allowed to join because I was no longer a resident of Somerville. I had just moved to Boston. And I disclosed that I live in Boston now. And they told me that there's actually a bit of a loophole, if you will, that if you're part of Somerville Producers Group, the Dead Air Live show, that is within Somerville Community Access TV, and anyone can come and participate. There is not a residency requirement, and individual costs approximately $40. You do have to take, I think it can be, when you start to take the other classes, there are a handful of classes you have to take that are in the area of $20, $25. So basically I think I'm paying maybe $100 a year when you add it all up. It's a very small amount of money, and at the same time it's amazing the high quality equipment that's here and the access we have to come and play with whatever machine you want. It's great. SPG is the place to come and join if you want to learn any aspect of how to do a television show. You can come in without any experience. You will be welcomed and taught from the beginning in a safe, comfortable, accepting environment, and they'll let you do whatever you want. If you want to produce a show, great. You want to be the cameraman, come join us. It's an incredible amount of access, and I think the most important word in Somerville Community Access TV is the word access. You can access any part of making a television show that you want, and it's very easy for anyone to come in, so I encourage you to come visit.